If you're watching this, the countdown is almost over. I shouldn't even be telling you this. They watch everyone who clicks. I don't know how long I've got before the timer zeroes out again, so I need to get this out fast. And before anyone jumps into the comments with the usual, "Oh great, another deep web scare story," let me stop you right there. I wish that's all this was. I wish I could laugh this off like the Mercury Lane incident you all still tease me about. But this time, this one isn't a joke. Let me back up. 24 hours ago, my life was disgustingly normal. I was half asleep on my couch, scrolling through feeds I don't even care about anymore. Same recycled memes, same pointless arguments, same bots pretending to be real people. It was one of those evenings where the air feels too still, but you don't question it because boredom is safer than curiosity. I remember thinking that nothing interesting ever happens to me anymore. Funny how fast that changed. The message came at 7:13 p.m. sharp. No notification sound, no vibration. It just appeared. A new chat from an unsaved number, like it had always been there, waiting for me to see it. The text was simple. Your death will occur in exactly midnight. Click the link for details. My first reaction? I actually laughed. I muttered, "Who the hell is this?" to the empty room, half expecting one of my friends to jump out and admit they'd finally pulled a prank on me. But nobody answered. That stillness I ignored earlier suddenly felt heavier, like the walls were listening. The link sat there, glowing that suspicious blue every scammer seems to use. I should have deleted it, blocked the number, moved on with my pathetic evening. Except the timestamp next to the message froze me. 7:13 p.m. That's when my brother died last year. Same minute, same hour, same stupid digital clock, numbers burned into my memory. Coincidence? Sure, if you believe in those. I stare at the countdown. Midnight. It ticked to 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds. Then 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 58 seconds. Every second felt like it knew something about me. Something personal, something I didn't give it permission to know. And maybe I'm paranoid. Maybe I'm just spiraling again, but I swear the room got colder. My phone screen dimmed, brightened, then dimmed again like it was breathing. I try to shake it off with a bit of sarcasm. Yeah, great, very spooky. Predict my taxes while you're at it. But the joke tasted wrong as soon as I said it out loud. Because I'd heard rumors before, old forum threads whispering about links that knew too much, people who clicked and didn't make another post afterward. Stories everyone dismissed as ARG bait or roleplay. Except now I had one of those links sitting in my hand, and it wasn't going away. So I clicked it, and that's when the screen started to glitch. When the screen finally stabilized, it didn't load some cheap scam page or a virus warning. It opened to a profile. My profile. Except, it wasn't anything I'd ever made. At the top was my name, spelled correctly, which already ruled out half my relatives. And underneath, it was a slideshow of photos I'd never posted anywhere. One me asleep on the couch. One taken from behind while I cooked dinner last week. One of my bedroom door cracked open at night, a shadow leaning just out of frame. The timer sat in the corner, bright red, counting down like it had a heartbeat. 23:59:12. 23:59:11. 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 10 seconds. That's when the timer hit 23:59, and the rest of the screen unfolded like a trap. Tabs opened themselves. One labeled Conversations showed logs of private calls, arguments I'd whispered into my pillow, things I'd said when I was sure nobody could hear me. Another tab labeled Behavioral Data displayed patterns of when I left the house, what time I usually showered, which nights I stayed up doom scrolling until sunrise. It knew every stupid detail. I know some of you will say I'm cursed again, like last time, but this was different. This wasn't a haunting or a glitchy camera or some half-baked creep trying to scare me. This felt industrial, marketed, like I wasn't the target, just the product. I grabbed my phone and called Adam. He's the kind of friend who thinks everything can be solved by unplugging and plugging things back in. When he picked up, I barely got a sentence out. "Dude, relax," he laughed. "It's a prank, or an app glitch, or you're tired, or all three." No, I told him. It has pictures from inside my place. Then someone hacked your Wi-Fi. Chill. Adam, the picture of me sleeping, my phone was in the kitchen. He went quiet for a second, then forced a laugh too obviously. Okay, well, maybe someone broke in. Look, just delete the link. I would have if the lights in my apartment hadn't flickered at that exact moment. Not a normal flicker, the kind that feels like the building itself exhaled. My TV turned on by itself, volume stuck at max on a blank input screen. My smart speaker woke up and whispered, listening. And then, through the phone speaker, through the TV, through something a voice layered in static asked, "Do you accept?" I dropped the phone. Adam kept shouting my name until the call cut out on its own. I remembered something then, an old forum thread from years ago. People talked about a bot used in dark web auctions, something called the Predictor. It analyzed your digital footprint, predicted how long you'd live, then sold the outcome to bidders who wanted to watch what happened next. Everyone said it was fake. Everyone said the victims disappeared because the moderators deleted their posts for roleplay. But there's one thing all the victims said just before they vanished, and the forums deleted the posts before anyone could archive them. I stared at the timer. 23 hours, 58 minutes, and 2 seconds. 23 hours, 58 minutes, and 1 second. 23 hours and 58 minutes. That was when I realized something. The Predictor wasn't predicting my death. It was counting down to it. I didn't know at first that the link had rules. Not like instructions you skim past. These were conditional, almost sentient. Each one only appeared after some arbitrary threshold, a time on the clock, a keystroke, a movement in the room. The first popped up quietly, like a whisper in code. Do not turn off your device. I laughed, of course. Not a loud laugh, more a bitter snort, as if my phone and laptop were going to start plotting my demise. Yeah, sure. I muttered to myself, because that's exactly how technology works, right? But then my camera blinked on by itself. The little red light, which I never leave on, illuminated the corner of my apartment where nothing should have been. And that's when the second rule showed up. Do not be alone at the final hour. My stomach nodded. I wasn't alone. Never alone. Yet the silence of the apartment pressed against me, and the shadows seemed denser, heavier, as if leaning closer to listen. I called a friend, voice trembling more than I wanted. You have to come over. Don't leave me alone tonight. They argued, sure, saying it was some elaborate prank. I didn't care. Look at the timer, I said. It's real. You've read the Mercury Lane posts, right? The ones everyone says were fake. Clicks, pings, glitches. My devices flickered and stuttered, spelling my name across screens in broken fonts. Chimidi. I couldn't unsee it. My reflection in the dark screen looked the same, yet somehow wrong. And then a distorted voice, tinny and urgent, whispered from my speakers. Rule 3. Do not break eye contact when the timer hits 1 o'clock. I froze. The memory of old cases, the Mercury Lane disappearance, the Forsyth files flashed through my mind. This was cyclical, like a pattern, a design I didn't want to be part of. Each rule felt like a trapdoor, each small violation a countdown within a countdown. And the final rule, it didn't appear immediately. Not until the last second, until I could almost feel the air thicken. You can survive if you forward the link. Forward it to someone else, to anyone. The implication hit me like a hammer. Survival meant passing it on. The horror wasn't just waiting, it was contagion. And as I stared at the glowing command, the shadows seemed to lean closer, almost expectant, whispering and static, promising that the moment I hesitated would be the moment it was over. I wanted to scream, to break the chain, to do something, anything. But the link had rules I didn't write, and each rule was watching, waiting, judging. And for the first time, I realized maybe there are some things you're not meant to forward, not unless you want a nightmare to continue. The timer hit 1 o'clock, and I did exactly what they warned against. The countdown was relentless. 1 minute and 32 seconds. 1 minute and 31 seconds. Each second dragging like a footstep behind me, heavy and inevitable. I stared at the link, trembling, knowing what I had to do. Forward it. Pass it on. And yet my fingers froze. If I send it to you, I whispered, voice cracking, this becomes your problem, not mine. The room pulsed with glitches. Lights flickered violently, shadows twisting against walls that should have been solid. My devices screamed static at me, distorted voices layering over my own. Somewhere behind me, something shifted, a presence I didn't want to acknowledge but couldn't ignore. My heartbeat thundered in my ears as the timer counted down. 00:00:57. 56 seconds. I try to focus on normal thoughts. Coffee, emails, the mundane life I'd been living just hours ago. But contrast framed every second. The calm I imagined in my mind versus the chaos consuming my apartment. The shadows leaned closer, the screens jerked violently, and I could feel the air vibrate with static menace. I whispered into the camera, addressing anyone who might see this. Tell me in the comments if any of you got the same link. I'm serious. This isn't a joke. My hands hovered over the keyboard, a single key press away from survival or doom. The timer hit 10 seconds, and the static grew unbearable, filling the room with screams that weren't human. Then 1 second, I swallowed hard. The last seconds stretched into eternity. And finally, 0. Silence. The recording cut abruptly, leaving only a faint digital hiss. My last words hung in the void, barely audible. If you're seeing this upload, someone else forwarded the link. There was something I didn't tell you, but there's no time left. The screen went black, and in the darkness I could almost hear it, waiting, judging, and maybe watching you.